Forget it.
The FLAMECAST!
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the FLAMECAST. With me is WINDYBEARDGAMES. How's it going, man?
Hello, mate. How you doing? How you doing,
Good.
Tobor?
Good. This is take 2.
It is.
I totally fucked up the first one. So we're off to a good start. Out of the gate, limping.
Well, welcome one and welcome all.
Yeah. Hey everybody, thanks for listening once again. So Windy, what's been going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, not a lot, to be perfectly honest. Same old, really. I've been working on Geo 2. But it's been a endless series of rocks, as we've discussed many times. I've been drawing comets and planets and moons. That's what I've been doing.
And horseshoes, oh my!
But it's all right. It's fun. I love it.
There's more to Geo than this.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, there's more to Geo than this. Yeah, but it's an absolutely great thing to do. I love it, drawing planets and stuff.
It's looking good from what I've seen.
Well, thank you.
You get better with every game, I think, your art.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope so. You know what I mean? We just keep climbing that mountain, Tobor. One step at a time.
Yeah. No gear either.
Exactly. When we reach the pinnacle, the view is splendid. That's all I've been told.
So. I haven't gotten up there yet. I haven't tackled any mountains personally.
I don't think I'm there just yet. I can smell it. I can smell the fresh air above.
Yeah.
But it's still reaching for it. But no, it's been good. But it's an interesting thing to do because you start it with such excitement. Obviously, I think, oh yeah, there we go. We get to start drawing planets and comets again, right?
Optimism abounds. Exactly.
Yeah. And then I'm at like 10 now, so I've done about 10. So I've only got about another 150 to go, right?
Fuck.
So, but it's when you get to like planet number 35, you start thinking, right? Well, what the hell do I do for 36?
Yeah.
Because they all need to be different and they all need to be unique in that you don't want any planet or comet or anything to resemble another one. You want them to be unique enough that when you find it, it actually means something rather than going, oh, was that just, have I seen this one before? No, you want people to go, wow, look at this one. This is new. So that's the challenge therein.
In my tile sets, that's generally where I start to flip things on their X and Y axes. And do a recolor. This has a green tint.
Yeah.
The other one was blue.
They'll probably will do that. I probably will do a few recolors. I don't have a problem with that. But for the most part, I try and do them unique. You know, so I have one with like volcanoes all over it, one with some sort of weird alien forest blob thing on it, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And a couple of them usually pop up as, oh, I could recolor this one and get away with it. Good way.
Yeah.
Because the good thing about planets is you can just rotate them like 123 degrees and it's like a different drawing,
Yeah, not quite that way with pixel art, unfortunately.
No. Very different beast. But it's good. So I've also been working on the universe for Geo. So I've built like the universe creation tools and all this stuff, and that's now working. So for anyone who did play Geo 1, the main difference in the way you explore in Geo 2 is that it's one giant universe. So in Geo 1, you had loads of little quadrants that would open up and you would explore it. And then you could explore another quadrant, but you'd delete the old one. So you get these little 12 by 12 grids or 6 by 8 or whatever. And then it would be stuffed full of planets. But now it's one giant universe that's, I think at the moment it's 2,500 squares to explore.
Ambitious.
Yeah, it's it's ambitious, yeah, but I think it's going to be good. It should be special because what that allows me to do, instead of creating little random segments, it gets to hand design these an entire crazy universe, and everything can be in its place. So that's what I have been doing with consideration of further universes. So it doesn't need to be just the one universe. I can have multiple.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's just one. Don't get too excited. I'm not doing like 30 universes, but
expansion packs.
Yeah, exactly. But the plan is to be able to make more universes and stuff like that. So yeah, it's good. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, that
Just
sounds good.
A long way. What about yourself? What have you been doing?
I've been working on. I can't remember if we talked about this last week or not, but I'm still grinding away on a new title screen for Savage.
Oh yeah.
I'm just about
nice.
done.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's glorious.
Well, I want that first thing to, it's the first thing you see, so I want it to make the right impression.
Yeah.
And not be a horrible bummer like it is right now.
Plus, your title is your branding in many regards, isn't it, for the game? So
yeah,
got to get that right.
So I mean, I'm keeping the same theme of the blue tower in the background and the which that is the shard of Gosen.
Oh, nice.
So the title screen is a bit of it's like a foreshadowing kind of thing where it's it's like, oh, you see the final goal like right away, so you kind of paints a mood for how you're going to start your adventure is the idea. But I'm keeping that. I'm keeping the dude with the sword and the starburst like transforming into the blade and all that. But I just redrew everything, including the actual title, because that was probably the most offensive parts of the where the current title screen sequence is. So I'm kind of excited. I've started to animate it and everything, and I'm like, oh yeah, like I put on some Judas Priest and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, this is perfect.
Nice.
Exactly what I want. Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen the work.
It, so.
I've seen the work you've done so far on it, and it's night and day the difference. I think what you're doing now is amazing.
Oh,
and
thanks.
It's going to do nothing but wonders for it. It's a powerful title.
It's too bad a lot of people have already played it.
No, it's good. I think people are really going to like it, man. So what's the deal with the early access and stuff you were talking about? What are you doing there? What's the plans?
It's probably going to be after the summer sale. Okay. So between now and the summer sale, I'm just going to be working my ass off. Who knows? I might wind up with a finished video game between then and I think I can do it. There's really not too much left, but at the very least, I'll put it into early access, what I've got, a week or two after the Steam summer sale. And that's leaked online, hasn't it, the date for that?
I don't even know.
So whenever that is, like mid-July, I guess, would be...
Yeah.
When
I always panic about talking about those things. I don't want to be crushed by our overlords.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The last FLAMECAST. They were never heard from again.
Yeah. No, but it's looking good, man. Are you excited? How are you feeling about it all?
Actually, today and yesterday are the first times in a long time where I'm feeling genuinely optimistic about everything.
Nice.
Yeah. Mostly it's just a, kind of a... I decided to stop being anxious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I decided to just kind of look at it as work no matter what, and just do your work, idiot.
No doubt it'll come back to haunt you just before release, though. I can tell you that.
I'm sure, and I'll be crawling to you like, what do I do?
I don't even... Just weep with me, Tobor. We'll be fine. It'll be fun. Yeah. We'll just hold each other in the dark. I'm sure you'll be fine, man. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. You've put so much work into it. Yeah. And I just hope people see it. That's the fight, isn't it?
What is funny is recently I got a comment on a news post that I made on Steam about Savage. And the post said, like it was basically a thank you very much for being patient and not rushing the project like these other early access. It was like, well, you're in for a surprise, friend.
Don't let that put you off.
I just thought it was funny, and the timing was like, oh my God.
It's always funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had a couple of funny requests for GO2 recently. I've had several requests now for it to be multiplayer. Just throwaway requests like, hey, developer, ever thought about just chucking in multiplayer into your universe full of hundreds of planets? And it's just, I would if it was possible. I would if it was possible. But these things are so complicated.
I don't think people understand how unwieldy it already is.
Such a big project.
At least for me. Like, there comes a point where, I mean, in my game, it's just a mess. Like, it's just it's basically held together with, you know, like, Scotch tape and
I think
Elmer's
all games
glue
are, though. When it gets to the end, I think all of them are, especially indie
it's like,
ones,
just put some multiplayer code in it. It'll work.
Yeah, just slap it
Fuck
in.
you.
I think the requests are made in good faith. I don't think they're made maliciously.
Of course they are. Yeah, I don't mean to you know, poo-poo it necessarily, but it's like, it's so funny.
You just sometimes wish to say, you know, I don't not put it in because I'm rubbish. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't not put it in because I hate multiplayer. Yeah,
exactly.
Or something.
And I also don't think, personally, as an indie developer, I don't think multiplayer is always the best decision. Personally, you know, because it's one of those things where it needs to be done perfectly right, especially if it's against each other or co-op or something. And if it's not just couch co-ops, different story altogether. But if we're talking about an online multiplayer system, then it needs to work. And it needs to work properly, or else it might as well not even be in there. And then you've got a whole manner of different issues to concern yourself with. Then, you know, trying to get that to work flawlessly.
Yeah. I can think of a few, you know, pretty big games over the past, 2 decades that did just that, and the multiplayer was garbage.
Yeah,
it's like, well, they still did it. You know what? Too. Oh, go ahead.
You look at things like Stardew, for example, that's not that long ago had multiplayer added, you know? And you think that game has been out for God knows how many years, has made God knows how many tens of millions, and it's only just put it in.
I didn't even know it had multiplayer.
Yeah, it does now, yeah.
Wow.
It has multiplayer now, like co-op, yes.
Yeah.
But you think it's taken, 5 years, 4 years, and millions of dollars, you know, before they'd even consider it, you know, because it's that big a deal to try and get a game not only working multiplayer, but in a way that's actually worth playing. Because I think most people go, this would be cool multiplayer, you know, and then the developer goes, all right, I'll stick that in. 6 months later, they have some sort of ropey multiplayer that no one plays, and then it's just... Or someone plays it for 10 minutes and go, that was a laugh. And then it's just...
I feel like putting multiplayer, depending on what the game is, of course, and everything, but if your game is a single-player game and it's tuned for single-player and all this, if you do wind up putting multiplayer, it should be for the, you know, the hobby or the fun of it.
Yeah.
Like, I've considered that with Savage, too. It's like, maybe someday, like, it would be fun to put a Coliseum or something on the map somewhere.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you could go to, and then, like, you'd wind up in a lobby or something, and then you'd go into a versus match with, you know, anywhere from 1 to 3 other players, and just engage with the game's mechanics. And, you know, pick up stuff and toss it at each other, and, you know. I think Savage would be a fun, goofy divergence as far as like a PvP sort of, or like a boss rush thing too. Like you could do co-op boss rush or something. But
yeah, that's a cool idea. It's like Ragtag as well would have been great with a multiplayer.
Yeah, I think Ragtag. It has the same vibe as a lot of those weird board games of the 90s. You know, like Crossfire or something. I don't know if you remember,
but it needs one of those. The problem with something like that is I would love to do it. I would love to put it in, and I'd love to play it, and I'd love to see people playing it. But you have the issue of the game isn't that. I suppose the core mechanics is set up for multiplayer, but nothing else is. Yeah. So there's 2 teams. There's 2 different teams, and you know the humans that you play as, they're balanced to be played, and the other team is made to be an AI controlled unit. So
with a degree of chaos thrown in there.
Exactly. So if their abilities are then controlled by a human player, are they going to be vastly overpowered? Are they going to be underpowered? And then you've got to balance that. And then you've got to somehow figure out how you're going to... It's like making the game again from the beginning. It's not like just I'll quickly bolt it on, it will be fine. You know, because it's like... I think if you're going to make a multiplayer game, you have to make it from the start. You know, that's why most... You know, you look at some AAA games out there, you know, they don't make a solo campaign anymore. They just put everything into the multiplayer. It's either one or the other now. Yeah. In a lot of regards, you know. So it's interesting, but I'd love to do it, but I just don't think it's possible for me. Unless, of course, you have a Stardew Valley on your hands, you know, where you've got the resources to actually implement it professionally, you know, and get people in to actually handle that sort of stuff. Because as a solo project, especially with something like Ghosten or Ragtag, you're looking at a year, 2, 3 year development and then you've got to add in multiplayer, which is probably another year or whatever, 6 months, 8 months, a year, and then you've got so much work to do, so much work for that, and then it needs to be played. If it's not played, then a lot of time wasted, isn't it?
Yeah,
confusing.
Well, and yeah, you want to talk about like network code is a whole other. Like, what do you do? How do you set that up? Is it peer-to-peer, or is there a server, or what's going on? And
you have people in that specialist field for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, network-only programmers and engineers and stuff.
I wouldn't know where to begin. I wouldn't even know where to really begin. I could probably cobble something together, but it'd be awful. I could do a couch co-op, but then I think a lot of people think they want that. But I don't know. I don't know a lot of people who actually play PC
like
games.
The devil. You think you do, but you don't.
I don't know how many people play couch co-op games at a PC. I don't know if I've ever. I don't know if I've ever heard of anyone say, "Oh yeah, every weekend I play couch co-op on my PC." I've never heard this.
Obviously, there are exceptions. So
of course,
we're not saying this never ever happens, and you're retarded if you do. I
don't think it's widespread.
Kind of there's a perception difference there between consoles and PC. I think a little bit. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't even have friends, so. Yeah, I guess the main takeaway from this is we don't have friends, and we hate you if you have them. So, fuck multiplayer.
Well, no, I think couch co-op's fun. Like, I think.
Yeah. When it hits and when you got some people to do it with, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. But you got to think about like how often that comes up, especially nowadays. It's like a fringe case, really, isn't it?
It kind of is, I think. Yeah.
For multiplayer nowadays, a couch co-op multiplayer game is like the last thing you see.
Yeah. Well, take our situation, for example. Lately, you're the person I spend the most time with. And you're in the UK, Like, we get together doing this once a week, for a few hours, and it's like, that's kind of my friend time for the week.
Well, it's about the same for me, mate. It's about the same for me, It's working, and I suppose this is working, but it's also chatting, isn't it?
Well, what's kind of funny about it is like, it's like, oh, we turned something that would otherwise be a leisurely conversation into a fucking product.
How can we squeeze some value out of it, Tobor?
Yeah. Is that a stone? Give it to me. I'm going to squeeze it.
Well, no, I think it's a good thing. I think we've got stuff to talk about, and hopefully some people to listen. Because we're in a weird situation, really, the two of us, aren't we? Making games and stuff on the internet. It's not your normal path, is it, in life?
It used to not be.
Well, I suppose, yeah. I suppose.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on that indie-pocalypse. And
the one they've been talking about for 10 years.
Yeah, well, and the conditions always change about it too, don't they?
Oh, of course they do, yeah.
Yeah. Now it's discoverability is
yeah. That's the biggest one at the moment. That's the problem at the moment.
Killer, yeah. Which is why we've been playing some indie games.
We have. Yes, we have, Tobor. Yeah, we've been playing.
That's
very good. Very, very good. Professional segue there. Look at that. Yes, we have, Tobor. We played a couple of games this week for your viewing pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, and we're now going to discuss those games. We played the first one, which is Herald of the Depths. That's what we played, and it's like a really small sort of 8-bit-ish sort of like rogue thing, right?
Yeah. I would this one is definitely, I would definitely not consider it a rogue light. This is definitely like a rogue.
Yeah, it's
directly
pretty intense,
inspired by, without the ASCII art, of course, but it's basically almost the same thing where and the look of it has a now am I saying this right? ZX Spectrum?
Yes, I think you are. Yeah, I don't know, ZX, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm trying to
ZX Spectrum, yeah. No, yeah, it does, because it's like a little 8x8 squares, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well, and it's got color. The main characters like yellow, Wasn't that with the Spectrum? It was like the different sprites were all solid colors and.
Yeah, it's the same as that. Yeah, it's quite good actually. Quite clear as well what's going on. It's got some really cool little features in it.
It's surprisingly wacky for what it is. Like I was enjoying it. It's got punch to it. It's for it being a turn-based sort of rogue inspired little it's kind of it's quirky too. I like it. Like you can be a rock.
you can be loads of little characters. They're weird.
Yeah. Yeah, you can be a rock, you can be an insect. You pick your race, you pick your class, and you pick a gift or something, and then you're on your way. I think it is supposed to be a short game. I didn't beat it. Yep. It's pretty hard.
No, nor have I yet. Yeah, it's tough.
And you can tell there's some bizarre sort of. We had a little talk about it before we started recording, and it was kind of neat because it felt like I was talking to somebody on the playground, like at school.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, did you pick the yellow stairs? Because I picked the green stairs, and what happened to you? You know, there are things about it that are kind of purposely maybe obtuse that you're not supposed to know.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed my time with it. I would recommend it, especially if you like brutal sort of quick play rogue games.
Yeah,
because it's not one to sink you in for like a 6-hour play session unless you play over and over and over. But it's like you can go in with one character role and you're dead in one screen, and then you could go in and find yourself on like 4th or 5th screen and things like this. And it's and there's loads of stuff to find. And what I really liked about it is it's one screen per floor.
That's right. Yeah, that hadn't occurred to me.
Yeah, there's no scrolling, so the whole floor is bang there on your screen.
Yeah,
it's all obscured at the start, like rogue games are. You know, as you move around it.
Yeah, you get that like fog of war kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool, even down to things like you can. And this is still talking about like 8x8 squares, so this is just like 8-bit, single colors. But you can blow up walls and things, and set fire to grass and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird and fun environmental interaction. Yeah. And enemies too can fall in, they're just as susceptible to traps and and timing and position cool. is critical once you figure out what the different enemy AIs do. Yeah. Like some of them have beam attacks and some of them try to get like around the side of you and stuff, so you can manipulate that. Very, very simple game, but very addictive once you start to unpack it all.
I was thinking about it as I was making it. I was thinking about it as a developer as well as a gamer. So I enjoyed my time of it, and I was actually quite impressed. It's really solid and really sort of deep.
It makes me want to attempt something like it actually, which is
I've always wanted to do one.
Yeah, me too. Same here. And playing this, it was like you can do something really engaging. And bite-sized.
Yeah. And they've done that, and they've done it well. Mm-hmm. And you've even got all your spells and stuff, and you're picking up wands and magic books and all these other things. Stuff.
Yeah, you have two like equipment sets that you can switch back and forth that give you different abilities and stuff. Very strange abilities too, but they're fun.
Yeah, they are good. Yeah, and then you've got quests. Did you stumble across any quest givers?
Yeah. It's. I think I found 2 of them, and I think they might be sort of random events.
Yeah, I haven't figured out if they're random or not yet. But and you can also level up as well. So you level up as you fight, but there's also like these shrines you can find. Did you find any of those shrines where you can
you get a
upgrade
perk.
your bow, things like that?
Yeah, you can get a perk that you can choose. Between like what I assume is a random series of 3 choices.
Yeah.
And some of them are like, a resistance to poison or extra frost chance, like you freeze enemies and stuff. Yeah, they're or increasing your hit points and.
Well, I spam it's always bow, isn't it? Just grab the bow because you can kill stuff while you're at a distance. That's it for me.
Is that how you played mostly? Was with a bow?
Yeah.
I went sword. So
see, sword's good. Yeah. I use a sword, but I have to have leveled up a few times because you go in with a sword straight off the bat, you're dead.
That's probably why I didn't get as far as you did.
Yeah, you got to bow it up, and plus you can blow up walls and stuff from a distance, which is always good.
Oh yeah, wherever there are those sigil things on the walls. Yeah.
So it was good. It was good, and I think like we were discussing it, like you said about the different coloured staircases. It was during that conversation I figured out what the hell's going on in the game, because it's nice in that it doesn't hold your hand at all. It's like get in there, off you go, good luck.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's part of the fun of it. Like I found like a white staircase, a red staircase. You said you found a green one, did you?
Yeah, I found a green one that took me to a forest area or something.
Yeah. So the red staircase took me to a red area, whereas I thought it might have jumped me ahead a few floors. It's actually taking you to different parts of the world. So that's what I think the staircases are doing.
Okay.
So God knows how many different areas there are. Because the first one is all like white brick walls, and you go down white staircases to carry on through that area.
And I wonder how different a full playthrough varies, from one to the next. Because I haven't beat it yet. I haven't.
No, nor have I. I don't even know what happens if you keep taking the same color staircase. I don't know how far that goes. What's at the end of it? I do intend to bang out the achievements. I think I've got 2 or 3 left to get. 2 maybe.
I was looking at both of our achievement thing. You have one that I don't, and vice versa, and we both have 2 left to get.
But yeah, I'll definitely give it some more time. It's fun if you like a nice little quick play. It's great, really good, really good.
Very satisfying gameplay.
Yeah, and the music's good. It's nice and crunchy. I would thoroughly recommend it. It's simple but complicated.
Visuals are chunky and lots of particles sometimes, like when you do set off an explosion or something.
Yeah, it's well made. Yeah, there was another game I played similar to it a few years back. I remember what it was called now. It's really annoying. But it was same sort of thing. Really small rogue, really small.
I'd be interested in checking that out if you remember it. They're good fun
because they're so quick. They're so quick. Quick fire games. Sometimes it's nice when you're in between development or something. You've got a 10-minute break, just have a quick play and then refreshing.
Yeah, and it's a done game. It's finished.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't keep clawing you back for 100 years. It's just play the game, enjoy it, and so I'd thoroughly recommend it. It's not expensive either, isn't it? How much is it? It's like $1, isn't it?
I want to say it's 99 cents.
Oh, is it? There you go.
American cents.
Yeah, thoroughly recommend it. We'll put the link to the Steam page in the description of this video. But I recommend people check it out.
Yeah, buy it and let's give it a huge review boost.
Yeah, because I think it's only sat on like 2 reviews or something.
Leave a FLAMECAST tag in there or something.
Yeah.
FLAMECAST sent me.
Yeah, because it's one of those games, and this is what me and Tobor have discussed. That's why we're doing this. Is not only are these games great, we spend some good time trying to find a decent game because it's hard now on Steam amongst all the shit. To find these games that have just gone unnoticed, and it's a game that deserves to be noticed. Even not maybe 100 billion noticed, but some people to see it and play it, and it's well worth it. Well worth it.
This one's brand new too. Like it just came out, I think. So
yeah,
but I want to find and there's a few that I really enjoy too that we can play on here too, but that have been out for maybe 4 years or so, and just
I'm quite happy to do that.
Nobody ever it did nothing picked up for it.
Yeah, well. We can't offer much, but we can at least play it.
Yeah.
At least me and you are playing it, know. And that's good. I think it's a good thing. I think there's not enough coverage of good little indie games, really. There's lots of coverage of the big ones. The small ones like
there's
this just go
unnoticed.
unnoticed.
There's a lot of coverage of big, bad, shitty ones.
Yeah.
We're kind of in that right now, where it's like Fallout 76, Anthem.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls Blades.
Oh God!
What else? Like, there's a handful of them that are just like pissing everybody off.
Yeah,
and are just a train wreck coming out of the gate, and that's what everyone's covering, And it's like, you guys could play Geo, or something.
Oh, you could do, yeah, you could do. Yeah,
you play something make you happy. I don't know.
Yeah, but check out the game. Check it out. Herald of the Depths.
Yeah, Herald
is the name of the game. Herald, not Harold.
Yeah, not. Yeah. That's what I keep thinking, though. It's like,
that's what I
Harold.
keep saying in my head. Yeah, old Harold in the Depths. Yeah, check it out now on Steam. Yeah,
go save Harold.
Yeah, he's deep somewhere. So yeah, we played that one, which was good thing we did play that one actually, because it was only a small little bite-sized thing. Because we also had a little tickle of Project Gorgon.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is not a little thing.
No.
At all. No. So Project Gorgon. Explain away, Tobor. Explain away.
Project Gorgon is a indie MMO RPG. The emphasis on RPG for this.
Yes.
I like this episode because we're covering things with swords in them.
Always.
Yeah. And it's I want to say it's done by 2 core people. I mean, I'm sure they have, other people in and out or whatever, but from what I remember reading, it's a husband and wife team.
I believe so.
Yeah, who worked on EverQuest and Asheron's Call, and it shows.
Yeah, oh God, does it show? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God, does it show?
This is a very deep RPG with deep RPG systems. With the multiplayer aspect on top of it, of course. But yeah, it's so you pick your character. The character creation is abysmal. I mean, I don't really care.
No,
but it was just funny to it's also what is it? Alpha even still or?
It's really early. It's still early, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of this stuff is like, I'm sure they're going to come back to this and kind of gussy it up a little bit. So it's got rough edges. It's got rough edges because and it's not done. So that's why. But you make your character and you start out on an island, like a
noob island, yeah.
Yeah, where prisoners or whoever are presumably sent. And your memory's wiped and all that stuff, and you got to kind of figure out. Your first sort of goal is to figure out what the hell's going on and who you are, and if you can get off the island. But yeah, I was. This has kind of hit me at a good time, I think, and I think probably a lot of other people that are my age, who really like MMOs, who have been kind of hungry for something like this for years.
Yep.
Ever
Definitely,
since
100%.
World of Warcraft stopped doing this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it used to. World of Warcraft used to have like a lot of these sort of RPG elements, and like you use a thing, you get better at the thing, and but Gorgon has this in spades, where it's like you can fart, and it's like your fart skill leveled up or whatever. Yeah. Anything that you do or say or use or anything, like I think you have a language skill too. Like
I think so. But it's glorious. So it dumps you on the island, as do most MMOs. But I should probably start off saying I played EverQuest 1 a lot. I really liked EverQuest 1. So I used to play a lot of that.
For me, it was Dark Age of Camelot was my big.
Never played that.
Early MMO. Yeah.
I was aware of it, but I played EverQuest. I started off playing EverQuest. No, I didn't. I played a game called Legend of Mir before I played EverQuest.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, that was a really early MMO. And it's been running on and off ever since on private servers and stuff. It is brutal. Absolutely brutal. Like to the point where you could die and you drop what you're holding. You drop your swords and stuff. And it can take like a year to get a sword. Like it's crazy bad. Damage on your items explode when they break. That's it.
You know what? I kind of like that though.
Yeah, it's brutally good. It's brutally good. But Gorgon, so it dumps you on the island, and it does the whole kill this skeleton. That's how you fight. Off your pop, and it just says go for it, go nuts.
Yeah, that is refreshing as hell. Where it's just like you're here, just go.
It's got some really clever mechanics in it that are really really interesting to see how they pan out, and it's sort of got me excited to the point where I'm thinking I want to play this, and I want to play this for the rest of my life. Whereas
start a FLAMECAST guild.
Yeah.
Come on, everybody.
Let's go. All 10s of you.
Yeah.
And then you got so everything you do levels up, like you said, right? So if you die, dying levels up, right?
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Right.
Yeah. But your everything is related to this leveling up. So you level up, say for example, picking plants. Like herbalism or whatever it is, whatever they've called it. So grabbing crab meat is classed as fishing. You level up fishing. You get to fishing level 7. You get +5 to your health, which I find fascinating because I think it's you build a character and your character stats based on what you do rather than killing X amount of enemies and you go up a stock amount of number. Everything's related to whatever it is you decide to do can take your character in a completely different path.
That's always been my favorite type of system in an RPG.
Yeah, definitely. Where you get to build based on what you do rather than just pick and go at it.
Right, yeah. You do muscly things, you get, your strength improves or whatever.
Another thing I also thought was amazing is that you have factions. Like you always have factions and all different reputations with different clans and whatever else in these games. whereas they've boiled it down to per person, per NPC, right?
Yeah.
So every NPC has like an experience bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have a relationship level with them.
That's it, yeah. And if you do quests for them, and they're usually gather or kill quests, right, which a lot of these games are based entirely on, mostly, you do that for that specific person. They then can either give you stats and a skill. They can give you skills by doing quests for a character, like a brand new skill, and they can give you items. And this is every NPC that I've come across in the game. So just little John stood in the corner of some town can actually give you a skill that nowhere else in the game you can obtain.
That's so cool.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Insanely good, yeah. And that sort of depth is nothing but perfection in a game like that.
Yeah. I was telling you earlier, it's like you were telling me this, and that's something I didn't really interact with yet in the game because I'm still pretty early on. But like knowing that every NPC can you can build a relationship with them, and you can sort of grind at them or whatever. Yeah. Grind on even. The dialogue does get pretty saucy.
Oh yes,
but,
yes it does.
Like if it's as if dollar signs were appearing in my eyes, but instead of dollars, if there was a sign for like a universal sign for grinding, it's like yes, because I like grinding. If a game has satisfying a satisfying core loop and like the interacting with things feels good, and it's I can grind on that shit all day. Yeah, yeah. No, I think I'll be interested to see how it turns out. It's still early days for it, and you can tell when you play it. There's a lot in there. There is a lot in there, and it's still well worth playing now. Yeah. But I will be interested to see how it pans out over the next year or two. Yeah. It'll be good, and I hopefully for them, they deserve it. That it's going to be an absolute belter of a hit. Yeah. In that market of slightly older gamers, I think it's going to be. There's a few of these popping up. Smaller indie style MMO games. There's another one on Steam too, and I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's cheap too, and so it might be worth checking out. But apparently that one is heavy on the PvP. It's only heavy on the PvP because it's allowed everywhere.
Oh, I like that though. That's always funny.
And I think it's the same deal in that one where you can steal. You can steal. You kill what you keep. Sort of thing. Yeah. So I'll have to remember what it is. I can't remember what it is right now. But Project Gorgon, I want to say too. Even though there are like these, go fetch kind of quests and kill quests or whatever, the dialogue is wonderfully entertaining.
Yeah, it's good.
It feels like it was written by Terry Pratchett or something.
Yeah, yeah, and it's amusing as well.
Yeah, like it takes its world and its setting seriously, but like the characters all kind of have this like gallows humor. About them. It's like, I'd probably kind of be that way if I. Lived on an island populated by skeleton warriors.
No, it's a great game, and it's got an interesting money system to it. Not in the game. I'm talking about how they're selling it. So it seems to be completely free,
which is how I played it.
Yeah, it's completely free, but all of your skills, and like I said, there is a billion different skills and things to level up, all can only max out at level 15. So no matter what you're learning, if you're swimming and you're leveling up your swimming, if you're in the free version, it won't go past level 15. And I think, but then it's like 30 quid or whatever you call that, and $45 or whatever you have.
40 hot bucks.
So it's like it's a decent price, and then I think that's it. I don't think there's a monthly subscription. There's no in-game shop to buy cash and all that stuff. Yeah. There's none of that business. I think I was actually put off, and I will say that. It's a great game, and I wouldn't tell anyone to be put off. But when I first played it, it popped up trying to sell me a $500 supporters thing. It's like, what? $500? You're having a laugh?
Yeah, you see that and you immediately think, oh, I'm not getting the full game, no matter what.
Yeah, I instantly thought, oh, if this is the first thing I see, it's trying to extract $500 out of me. This isn't the game for me. But
well, you think like, okay, somebody who's paying the $500 is getting something that I'm not getting, which means that I don't have a complete game unless I have $500.
Which means it's got cash shop, which means it's pay to win. But it's not at all in any way. That is literally if you want to support us, here's how you can. Yeah. If not, just buy the game like a normal person and away we go. Right. So I think it's, like I was saying, it put me off at first, but then I was told, oh no, ignore that. And I went back in. So I don't know what that's worth. I doubt they'll even see this video. But if they are, I would personally be careful of that. Confronting a brand new player with a $500 request.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if they've gotten this kind of feedback before too.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's kind of scary.
It is, yeah. I was like, oh. But goddamn, no, it's a great game.
Yeah.
I would say it's fantastic because, like I said, I was an EverQuest 1 player, and it reeks of it. Absolutely reeks of it. You know,
Dipped
and
in
that's
it,
a good
head to
thing.
toe.
Yeah, the stench of EverQuest 1 is strong within.
Yeah, I want to see what. I mean, I'm assuming that it has PvP in it, so I'm kind of interested in
Whether it does now or not, I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, it's something you can really. I can tell, like you can really sink yourself into.
Yeah.
Envelop yourself in.
Yeah, but the skills go deep. Real crazy. Like, I got a skill where I can do an autopsy on anything I kill, right?
Yeah.
Autopsy skill, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And then I thought, okay, so now when I kill an enemy and you click on it, it comes up loot or autopsy. All right? And if you click on the autopsy button, you level up your autopsy skill. Yeah. Fantastic, right? And then the autopsy skill at, say, level 3 gives you this skill or gives you some stats, like I was saying. But I did it on a skeleton, and then I leveled up the skeleton autopsy skill.
Oh,
and then I did it on a pig.
So there's like categories of autopsy that you can...
Exactly. It breaks down, and each one of these can be leveled up and give you stats and skills, and it's just amazing. Running around the map levels up your cartography skill. So to max out cartography, you have to uncover the entire world map of the entire game.
It's mouth-watering is what that is.
It's incredible. Yeah. It's incredible because I used to like that in World of Warcraft, but then they watered it right down. Is you used to get perks and stuff for uncovering the entire map and things.
Yeah, well, I remember too. Like you used to unlock perks on blacksmithing, for example. If you were, hitting the forge all day, like you'd get a bonus to some kind of melee strength test or something. Skinning too, you got like critical strike. Yeah,
it was a great game. And you used to have to remember. You had to buy skills. So you used to level up and then go and see a skill trainer. Yeah, see if you've got any new abilities
and
to buy. But now it's
all
just
those skills too, and
but now it's just like, hey, you've got it. Play the game.
Yeah, it's very arcadey anymore. Yeah.
But yeah, Project Gorgon is one to watch out for. I think
one to play. That might be one that I wind up picking up the full priced. Not the $500 one, but the the $40 one.
Yeah, because I played EverQuest 1 not that long ago. I saw it. They released it on Steam 2 years back.
What?
Or something.
EverQuest is on Steam?
I think so. And I downloaded it and played it, but it's just some pay-to-win, pay-to-thing. It's no longer the same. There's this entire world map. So EverQuest 1's got the biggest world map of MMO ever made by about 100 times over, right?
Yeah.
But 95% of it is irrelevant. So because there's now a path that it take you through if you want it for the speed leveling and
same thing with World of Warcraft. It's only ever the most current expansion where it's basically like a new game, and then they just kind of throw the other stuff under the rug. It's you got this huge, awesome, and it's good too, like a good world that you could be going back and putting in new scenarios and. Yeah. And they have done it like a couple times, but it's like there are spots that you could make relevant, Yeah, it's just they kind of just funnel and I get not wanting to splinter a player base, and there's tons of reasons why they're doing what they're doing,
Of course, of course,
and it's obviously worked up to this point. So
I always feel sorry though in these old MMOs that are so big that are still running with like 50,000 players on it. That's it, and there's that one NPC. In that one zone that no one ever goes to, that's not been spoken to for 3 years.
So sad.
And they're still forever just going between the lake and the shop, just forever in their torment. You know what I mean?
There's Herald in the depths.
Yeah, just going for the water and back again, unseen, unspoken to, just. And then when you click on them, all they say is, "Hey,
visit me anymore."
But yeah, it's always a shame, but that's MMOs. I think like I think Project Gorgon taps into what used to make them good, but brings in some modern things as well. Yeah. So it brings in a lot of good UI stuff and a lot of quality of life considerations which weren't around back in the day. They didn't even have those.
Yeah, before like games like EverQuest and stuff, it's almost like you're to play it. It's almost like you're running a command prompt or something.
Yeah, it was. It was. I remember when I first started playing EverQuest 1, right? It had this UI where it was a solid UI, and the game was seen in like a viewport in the center of this massive chunky UI.
Yeah,
there wasn't like semi-transparent panes or anything. So you had this, and then there were no maps. There was no world map. You had to have printed maps in it. I had printed maps in a folder.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, you couldn't do it now though, but back then it was like it's cool. So I want to go here, so I'd have to look for my map like a right nerd. find my map. Yeah, you know, and then it was crazy. It was a different thing, you know.
If you wanted to go, sun at right now?
Yeah. Mom, I'm looking for the Dread Castle. Yeah. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But, it was good. It was great. It was great because you'd go from zone to zone. So you'd go, I want to go to this zone. How do I get there? You'd have to remember or look at your maps. And then knowing that one of these zones, there's a good chance you'll die if you're not paying attention because it's well out of your league, but the next zone isn't.
Yeah.
But it wasn't designed in a line like they are now. You know, it's like, you know, and that was, I loved that.
Well, and anymore too, like with the mini maps, I hate that most of the time I play a new game or like a World of Warcraft or anything too. Like I'm just kind of looking at the mini map. I'm not looking at, I'm not taking in all of the nuances of the terrain around me and, you know, where things are physically placed and stuff. Like I especially for some of the newer expansions, because I'll go back to WoW every once in a while. Like usually when a new expansion comes out, I kind of treat it as a single player sequel game. Anymore. You know, like I'll play it for like a month or whatever, and then it's like, okay, and then, you know, not subscribe anymore and shit. But like you're just so glued to the compass or the mini map, that you're not taking in the world around you.
And there's so many little things, right? So I suppose this goes into more of a discussion about MMOs in general, I suppose. It's like there's so many things that have been added to MMOs that fly in the face of what an MMO is.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you go speak to someone in a town and they say, I want you to go out and kill 10 haunted pigs.
Yeah.
Right? And you think, okay, I'll go kill haunted pigs. Where are the pigs? And then you speak to the character and it will say, oh, you just go past the rocks, over the hill towards the lake.
Yeah,
and you'll find the pigs.
Go west.
Yeah. But now it's like, bing, and there's like a circle on your map.
Yeah.
So it shows you where they are.
And then you have a nice little area on the map that shows you, here's where the pigs are.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just
in this area,
hang out
the things
in this
you want to
spot,
kill.
this zone.
And some MMOs take it even further. They have a button you press that will run your character there. You know, like auto run your character there.
Yeah.
And you just think
follow the path. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because then what's the next step up from that? Click to complete. That's it.
Yeah, just give us money.
Yeah. 79 cents and you won't have to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you won't have to go through the torture of exploring our world for just $1.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's you're paying characters so they don't have to, or people are paying you so that they don't have to play your game.
It's such a crazy concept, but I think it's a shame. Like I know there's probably going to be people going, "Oh, shut up! Your MMOs were bad. That's why they died and changed." And I think there is some truth in that. You know, WoW.
Yeah, there's parts of the old stuff that was crap.
It was awful.
You know, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of it probably is the old nostalgia goggles, but you do have core concepts of a game that have been watered so far down they don't even resemble the original. You know?
Yeah.
Especially like if you put Gorgon next to WoW, they couldn't be any more different. The only similarities is that they're in an online persistent world. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, here's this too. Some of that old stuff was fantastic. And it's not nostalgia speaking. It's that it was good. Like, you can lament the loss of a good thing and not be, you know, not because you're nostalgic for it and have this weird attachment. Like I've when I said that Project Gorgon hit just at the right time for me, I wasn't kidding. I've been over the last maybe 6 months or something. Every once in a while, I will open up a private server of like Shadowbane or something.
Okay.
A game that I played maybe 5 minutes, like when it was a live game, like, you know, in the 90s. And it's like, there's some good stuff in here. And it's, you know, it's all crusty and clanky and janky and whatever. But you're playing it, it's like, my God, I'm a character in a world. You know?
Yeah.
It sucks you in because it has all these little nuances that a lot of the newer stuff just doesn't. And to say, like, it's the same thing, Project Gorgon. That's a game I've never played before in my life. And it's like, oh shit, this is good.
There's a whole world there. Yeah. Yeah.
Character building, progression.
And I think you always hear this term, didn't you? That busy work, and it's not actually a game; it's just work. And I think, well, as humans, right? That's what we do. We do the same things over and over and over again. Right?
Hobbies are generally like pretty strenuous. Some of them, like put a ship in a bottle. Like
this is what people like. They like this stuff. This whole modern fascination with just instant gratification. All these things. Like
it's got to be exciting immediately.
It's not necessarily the case. The problem is, I think, they are both valid theories, right? This instant gratification, faster, more. Give the player sparkling lights and shining baubles all the time.
Yeah, make them feel like a god.
Happy. Yeah, exactly. And whilst that's still valid, the whole giving someone a world to explore without telling them where to go, all these challenges and things that are difficult are also valid, but in comparison, it's not as financially successful, which is why you don't see it that often. It doesn't matter how good it is, it will never be as successful as I played this game for 10 minutes and I'm the king.
Well, and you can very much look at that as proof. Like, it's like, okay, one works, one doesn't. It's like the World of Warcraft model works for us. But it's well, and people are always going to go the easier route when they have an option. Even if the payoff might be better for you.
Yeah,
going over there and chopping the wood, like having somebody deliver some wood to you.
Yeah.
They're going to go with that.
But that's why I think so many MMOs. This is why the whole MMO thing died, didn't it? Because everyone saw World of Warcraft taking the lead by 100 miles, right? With the formula they come up with, and they nailed it, right? They did. They sort of turned MMO into sort of a cross between an MMO and an action RPG.
Yeah.
They sort of found this sweet spot. So everyone wanted to make their game like that. That's where they went wrong, I think. Because it's like, why try and turn your game into something that's successful? Because then you're just going to be a shit version of the thing that's successful, right?
Yeah. The WoW
so you might
killer.
you might as well look at what makes your one unique and double down on that.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of them did.
No, we're starting to see it now, though. Thank God. I'm kind of excited for this smaller, little industry that seems to be popping up with games like Project Gorgon.
I just hope they can stay alive. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because MMOs are like a suicide, for a business. If you don't get it bang on, the costs of running one and the content required, and just think about just the amount of swords, the data of all the swords. There's like 500 swords in the game, so you got to put all the data in for that, design them all, 3D models for all, and you just think, it's a big job.
Well, and I mean, a lot of them too are they're not necessarily too much deeper than something like Daggerfall or whatever. That was made by a handful of dudes. And I mean, and then you have the online aspect to it, which is another sort of feat to pull off. But it's like, okay, how big is it actually? If it's small and not too many people are playing it, you can't really think about it as the same thing as running Eve servers or something.
Yeah,
or
I don't know. You see so
servers.
Many of them. You just see so many MMOs pop up and vanish. That's the thing, and I think it's the running costs. I just think it's the running costs have to be beaten, don't they? And that's my only concern for it. I hope it deserves to do really well. It deserves to do really, really well.
I have a feeling it stands a chance at carving out its own little niche and supportive player base.
Yeah, a player base of like 25, 30,000 that just pay forever, whatever.
Because they like it and they want to hang out in it all the time.
Yeah, because I'd happily pay $9.99 a month for an MMO that's worth my time, even if I don't play it. I'd still be happy to have a subscription running.
Well, that's the thing too. Is I wonder if they have a Patreon or something.
Yeah, they probably do.
Do you know what I mean? Probably. Like, I think a lot of people that make things anymore, that's kind of the way to go. Is elective, support. Freaking anime is doing that. Like they're Japanese like anime producers that have a Patreon page where it's like you don't have to go through the normal channels of distribution. If you like our stuff, you can just support us on Patreon and pirate it.
And I think that's that's it. I think that's the outcome of the online environment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to sell online is everything is either worthless or free. So even the people at the very top of their game are saying, well, if you want this to continue, here's how you can support my work, because eventually everything online is going to be free. Nothing, you know what I mean? So it's hard to actually sell products online, especially digital products,
and they kind of already are. Like everything,
Yeah.
you can get free things
stolen.
Yeah, you can steal shit. And like all of it. If you wanted to.
You can steal almost anything that's ever been uploaded online. Yeah. So I think it'll do all right. I hope it does. I personally, if I was to hit success with one of my games, like phenomenal success, and I had this huge financial safety blanket, right, I would happily make an MMO at a loss. And that's what I would do for the rest of my days. Just make the same MMO. But
well, that's something that has occurred to me too. Is like if I just wind up making versions of Savage over and over again, and it worked, and you have something that's stable, and it might not change much, but if somebody leaves for 5 years and comes back, like it's like, oh, I remember this, I love this, and they jump right back in.
Oh, nice, yeah, that'd be glorious. You could do a Savage MMO, 2D platformer.
Don't think that I haven't thought about that. Not for a
3
second.
months.
Don't think that I haven't, because I have. I think that's really the dream for me, is to make a world. Yeah, I want to make a fucking world that you can completely immerse yourself in and get campfire skills.
The same things crossed my mind with Geo. The exact same thing. Imagine that. What you could do with that.
Yeah.
If you turned it into like a persistent universe with other players and money, it's just ridiculous. But then you get too excited, and then I start thinking, oh, maybe I can do this. And then you realize you can't, and you then weep for a week.
Well, not now. Let's say not now. I'll be the glass half full guy, and say, you're just a few games away from being able to attempt, something that will destroy your life.
But it's one of those things, you could never do it alone. You could never do something like that alone.
No,
You'd need many people,
Yeah.
It'd be a very big pot of different skills to get that running.
And it would most likely have to look like crap.
Well, depends, doesn't it? 2D, you could do a decent 2D. 3D is a different story.
Yeah. I
think if you go 3D with an MMO, it's going to be hard to really get it looking good. But 2D you could.
Unless you're hyper stylized with it or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you're going for a PlayStation 1 era polygonal.
Well, that's what Gorgon's doing, isn't it? They've gone for we're going to make this look like EverQuest 1. We're going to make it look like the MMOs we're trying to emulate.
Yeah, it looks like Asheron's Call to me. Like it's so like But
it's nice.
But with the benefit of having like newer shaders and
and tremendous draw distance as well.
Yeah, decent lighting and draw distance up the ass.
Because I don't even think people realise, especially modern gamers, what the draw distance in MMOs was like back in the day.
Yeah, especially you're talking EverQuest. It's like,
oh god, yeah. You could just about see a tree, and then it just that'd be nothing.
But yeah, you're seeing like walls of the building that you're next to materialize as you like walk a little further.
And then every time you go from zone to zone, there was like a 40% chance of game ending. Like whether or not you'd connect to the next zone or not was like just a roll of the dice.
Yeah, going into the next cell or whatever.
Yeah, paying per minute as well on your dial up. You're thinking, oh god.
Yeah, fucking like $3 an hour or whatever.
Yeah,
and then somebody calling on the phone and disconnecting you from.
Oh, those were the days, Tobor.
The golden age of gaming.
They weren't. Awful times, but they were good at the same time. Games were different, very different, especially MMOs.
Well, philosophies were different because, this is still a new thing, right? It's still still figuring it out, and then especially then, like, and the internet was barely the internet, but it was still a thing that you had to consider, and I kind of do wish that I was making games back then still.
Oh, yeah. God, yeah. I wish I was born 10, 15 years earlier. It'd be a different world for me. Back when stuff was good.
Yeah. Hey? Let's stop building time machines, or stop building video games and work on a time machine.
But I think it is interesting, like you say, it's like even now, everything changes so fast in this industry that it's very hard for anyone to ever nail down a formula. That's why you can see every now and then someone does, but it only lasts so long. because
it's never a
technology
formula,
changes.
though. Like, we think it is.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I think,
yeah. Well, I suppose it is for that game at that point in time. It is a formula that worked. Right? So, like World of Warcraft, for example, we must agree that they hit the nail on the head with World of Warcraft based on what they had seen and learned and played.
Like, I guess it depends on what you mean by formula.
I suppose I don't mean formula. I suppose I mean like a set of what is good and what isn't based on prior experience. Because sometimes you can just take a shot in the dark and strike gold. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can.
Yeah.
But something like World of Warcraft was based on all the MMOs before.
Yeah.
It.
And
Took
that's
everything
kind of Blizzard's whole thing, too, is they took games and made them better, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like with AAA, I suppose. AAA shared world experiences. Things like, give me an idea. Give me one. What's it? Fallout 76 or that one EA released, you know?
Yeah, Ark.
Yeah. These are all just long runs of trying to whittle it down into a formula. And it's become a bit dead, you know?
Well,
soulless.
Anthem is the result of a formula, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
perfect example of a formula. Yeah. And that's not a good thing.
Right.
Not a good thing.
It's when you try to, like, the film industry did the same thing with the blockbuster.
Yeah.
I mean, you had stuff like Star Wars, but then Terminator 2 Judgment Day, I think, was when it was like, this is how you make a blockbuster. And here's the template now, and then we're going to try to repeat it, forever and ever. Amen.
Yeah. But it's a dangerous thing to follow, I suppose. But then everyone is always just trying to figure out what's going to make something successful.
Yeah.
Everyone. Even, of course, the AAA are, because they got a lot on the line, but you can try too hard to figure it out and to do whatever you think needs to be done. You end up with these pointless, vacuous excuses for a video game, that are clear, just money-making machines.
Yeah.
There's no.
We're hitting a weird point right now. It's kind of
what with gaming?
Yeah.
It's an interesting time. I think it's because nothing's changed for a long time. That's why. Because with EverQuest around those times, you had the internet just appearing in video games. It wasn't a massive thing before that. You had 3D games that was kind of new.
Well, it was all things for nerds, hobbyists.
Yeah.
It wasn't a huge, not till Halo. Really, I feel like Halo was the turning point. Halo was the Terminator 2 Judgment Day of the
quite possibly
the gaming industry.
Yeah, it really did smash it out of the park.
But we can rest easy now, knowing that we're all diseased.
Tobor and WINDYBEARD, we both work hard to entertain. There's hundreds of issues they don't talk about, and they certainly won't talk about yours.
Oh yeah. Moving on to our next. Very good. You're getting good at this, Tobor.
Oh, thank you.
We're going to discuss the World Health Organization's new thing that gaming addiction is a disease.
Yeah, we all have it.
Yeah.
Candy Crush players and Farmville and Project Gorgon.
Yeah. Disease factories.
Amazing that we're able to function as a society while all being stricken with gaming disorder.
With disease. Yeah, absolutely riddled with it.
Yeah, what the fuck is this? What's going on?
What, with this gaming disorder?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it, Tobor. I don't know. I just don't get it, right? I think, yes, right, there are going to be some cases where someone has an addiction to something, right? Mm-hmm. There's people out there who drink oil. There's people out there who can't stop eating their shoes. There's people addicted to weird shit. Right?
Yeah.
There is. But a 14-year-old kid playing Fortnite 12 hours a day and screaming at his parents is not diseased, right? That's not a disease.
Yeah.
If you're a fully grown adult playing a video game to the point where your marriage has collapsed, you're a dickhead.
Yeah.
You need to stop playing video games. You need to stop playing video games and wake up, right?
Yeah.
I think on the other side, though, I do think people, if it can be a symptom of a serious problem, because gaming is obviously, if you're heavily depressed or something like that, some people have found that playing games has helped. They don't want to talk to people or whatever you've got, there's people who find something to help them and sometimes video games is that. But I don't think telling someone that it's not their fault, that you play too much video games, trying to blame it on something else other than you've decided to play video games too much. If you lose your job because you played video games instead of going to work, you shouldn't get a pat on the back told, oh, it's okay, it's not your fault.
Well, here this leads into what does this mean exactly for things like disability?
Yeah,
and then welfare, and then and larger industries that are built around game like esports and making games. Like what are we like heroin pushers now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, and that's just like
it's just
a
another
drug
push
addiction
to try and
isn't
demonize.
necessarily like a disorder, right? It's like you have an addictive personality.
Yeah.
So you're gonna find something to fill that and shut everything else away and only do this one thing because for whatever reason you're finding solace in it, whether it's the bottom of a what the fuck is that? A bottle.
What's that glass thing called?
I was like, a barrel? No. A bowl? No. A toilet? Maybe. Eventually. But
no, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, it's weird. And it has some really kind of I don't even know how all of this sort of on a practical level how all of this works. Like, okay, so World Health Organization says that the gaming disorder thing is a real thing.
Yeah.
And now apparently billions are suffering from it. What do you do then? Like, what power does the World Health Organization have on a like a lawmaking level or
Yeah. What's that going to mean?
Does that put pressure
forward?
on? Yeah. Does that put pressure on legislation and like all this other shit? It's like what?
I don't see what can come out of it that's good. Right, I think, okay, let's do our usual thing, Tobor. Let's just do our usual thing to insulate ourselves from abuse, right? I don't hate people who are addicted to things, right? I don't hate you. If you play a lot of video games... Yeah, we just throw this out here, right? If you've played too much video game and it's ruined your life and I feel sorry for you, that's awful, right? That is awful, right? But... And I also think there probably are a few people on this planet who are addicted to video games, right? To some weird degree, they've got some weird obsession with a weird game that they just can't stop playing ever.
When
right?
people are
but
shitting
I don't think
in a thing near their chair, so they don't have to go up and go to the bathroom, so they can play more World of Warcraft or whatever. Yeah. And it's been a joke, it's been like a South Park joke, like it's a meme, the guy who that's all he does. But sorry, continue.
So I do think there are some people who suffer with something, and video games can be a catalyst for that. But I think that number is very, very small, personally, right? Very, very small, right? But I think having this World Health Organization say this, all it's going to do is give people who make bad decisions another opportunity to say it's not my fault, right? Which is the problem with so many things in this world. So many things that's wrong, right?
Well, that's sort of the culture that we're in right now, right? Is we're inventing dragons to slay again.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? It's just like there's a lot of people who play video games. A lot of people, right? It's a big industry and a lot of people. And the idea of this industry is to entertain people and to entertain them for as long as possible and to give them enjoyment, right? So it's like crazy. It's mad. It goes round and round in my head and how this can possibly be and what the outcome of this is. It's just so that people can say, oh, it's not my kid's fault. He doesn't go to school. He's addicted to playing Fortnite.
He's got a disorder.
No, you turn off Fortnite and you take him to school. That's it. Disorder finished. It's not like your kid has. Exactly. It's not like the kid's hooked on something, right? I know then people are going to say, oh, well, you've got the brain chemicals and all these other things that people say, and they're addictive.
You got DNA in you, and it.
Yeah. All the DNA is keeping him addicted to Fortnite. Yeah. But it's just. At the end of it, if it's a child, which it usually is, they always bat out this horrible little fat kid who just screams at his mum and plays Fortnite all day. Right? That's usually, this kid is addicted to Fortnite. This rubbish.
The kid is an asshole.
Just turn it off. Turn it off. Send him to school, innit?
Yeah.
That's it. what everyone else does. He's not going to be able to play it if he doesn't have it. End of story. If you're an adult and you're doing it, then you need to have a good word with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what I think.
Yeah, make your bed, put on your pants.
Yeah. What do you think, Tobor?
And it's not like, it's just another distraction. It's a thing that you can lose yourself in, and I have before.
Oh yeah, so have I.
Like some days, like I'll take a day off and like, hang out in my sweatpants and turn on whatever it happens. I turn on Geo and just lose myself in Geo.
So many people do, Tobor. It's not your fault.
Yeah, there should be a specific Geo gaming disorder.
Well, let's take it a step further, right? How many people out there, and how often have you done this, Tobor, where you found yourself spiraling into a YouTube hole, right? Where you start off watching a video about something you were interested in, and then you end up watching a video about how far someone can launch a shoe, or how many apples you can feed into a blender
in slow
and all
motion.
these weird, yeah, exactly, in slow motion.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't
wasted.
have this problem ever.
Everyone has this problem, Tobor. Don't make me feel like I've got a disease.
Nope. No, 100%. Yeah, the Japanese man has a cute otter for a pet. That's adorable. And then the next thing I know, I'm watching like a crackhead screaming at somebody at Walmart. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
How did I get here?
You
and it's 5 hours have gone by.
Yeah, and there's probably people who do that all the time.
Why isn't that a disorder?
Why is that? Exactly. Because it's entertainment and it just hooks you. That's the point. Everything does that. It just depends how much self-control you have, really.
Yeah, it's a self-control issue ultimately. You'd hit the nail on the head right there.
I don't think it's like smoking or drinking or taking crack or all these other things, because that's
because you can develop a chemical dependency on that.
Yeah, which has legitimate reaction if you don't have it.
Yeah, I've known people who have drunk themselves to the point where if they stopped, they'd get sick and die.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it happens. But if you take little Tommy's Fortnite away from him, he's probably going to have a little bit of a scream, but that's it. You know what I mean? And then he'll get over it and probably play the next game whenever that comes out, because you bought him a game he shouldn't be playing.
Yeah, it's a problem with confrontation, I think. If you're talking about in the context of a child and a parent, where it's like there's a lot of these fucking parents that are afraid to confront their kid.
Yeah,
Yeah, like. It's like, oh, he's screaming and whatever, and so just give him what he wants, and I don't want to have to deal with it. I might be afraid of him screaming, or I might be, annoyed with it or whatever. And then it's just like,
well, it's like, look at this then, right? Say I got hooked on my Switch. I was playing a game and I got hooked, right? And I couldn't stop playing it ever. If I threw my Switch out the window, I wouldn't be able to play it again. You know what I mean? Problem solved. There you go, WHO. Problem solved, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. It's crazy.
It sounds like such a boomer thing,
I think it's a setup to attack the industry at some point in the future. That's what it is. They've been trying it since day one, haven't they? This is bad for people. Violence in video games makes violent people.
Oh yeah,
and now it's all video games.
As Jeff Vogel puts it, it's a time-honored tradition of the media and of politicians to attack video games. I mean, it's heavy metal. It's fucking, the satanic panic. It's
And then you're going to have those diehard people who are banging on about it, and anyone who doesn't agree that that gaming as a disorder is evil and should be thrust from the internet. You know what I mean? And this will then start kicking off and give a whole new wave of controversy in the game industry, and you can see it coming a mile off.
Yeah.
You can see it coming.
It's gonna be a good show.
It will be.
And it's starting here on the FLAMECAST.
Exactly, but it's true though, isn't it? It's true.
Yeah.
I point at it and say, just grow up. Simple as that. If you've got something else to do and you're not doing it because you're playing a video game, give yourself a little slap, have a word with yourself, and go and do what it is you need to do. You know what I mean?
Don't have loser disorder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Don't shit yourself while playing a video game.
Yeah, and it's not a disorder. It's So since I like to play Scud Frenzy, I should be able to get disability checks. Toasty.
Well, this is another thing, isn't it? Like, where's that going to go? That's
what I'm talking about. Like, and what does it encompass? Is it board games? Is it chess? Is it is it poker tournaments? Is it Is it esports events? Like what the how?
Yeah,
we're all just sick. We're all sick.
Yeah, we're all sick because we're interested in entertainment.
Yeah,
like
fuck you.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's
crazy.
Yeah. This is on the way to Demolition Man territory.
It is. Yeah. It is. Video games have been banned because they're considered bad for you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Here, please sit in this beige room and just stare blindly at the walls for 12 hours a day.
Be well.
Yeah, exactly. Be well. Love it.
God.
Great film. Absolutely great film. Yeah. So that's gaming a disorder.
Yeah. Well, and you were talking about them targeting games, and I think this also comes in the form of the new loot box laws that are kind of being bandied about a little bit. But this is coming from a different direction because there's a lot of people who like games who are kind of cheering this on, which is kind of disturbing.
What do you think? Me. What do you think about loot boxes?
I don't want the government to outlaw design decisions. I don't. Here, we're going to do the pre-qualifier thing again, right?
Here we go. Go on, you do it this time, Tobor. It's your turn. Go on.
I don't hate retards. I don't hate anybody who wants the government to institute loot box laws or whatever.
No, definitely not.
But when you give the government any sort of control over anything like this, it's like good luck. Sort of, them ceding it back. In any, let's say it goes too far and it's like, oh, whoops, and then you want it to change. It's like, well, it'll take another 30 years or if ever.
Yep.
But then it's like, okay, then what else? What else is somebody going to get upset about? And what else is going to turn into a law then? Because we already, passed the anti-loot box law. And I want to say too, like, I don't like any of that shit. I don't like loot boxes. I don't like microtransactions.
No, I hate them. Absolutely hate them. Yeah.
Yeah. I as a consumer, I want to buy a game that's complete. Even if it has DLC and expansion packs, like later down that's cool. And especially if it's a good game, I want more. But if it's just this ham-fisted like, it's almost like a whole other industry at this point too, where it's, I mean, most of the time too, if it's a game that already has that they've kind of built around this concept, I generally don't really like the game that much anyway.
No.
So it's very weird when players are like, I want you to take this out of my game, or not be allowed to do it in my future games. It's like now you're telling people what they should and shouldn't. I mean, obviously you want people to want to buy your game and you want them to, So it's a tricky one, I guess.
It's an interesting one. Loot boxes. See, like my personal take, I don't like them. I don't think I play a single game with loot boxes in them, right? Because the game itself is of limited or no interest to me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right. They usually are stuffed into games in which people kill other people and gives them a reason to unlock it to get something to make them more impressive than the other person.
Multiplayer PvPs kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's usually where loot boxes are crammed, right? They might have made their way into other things, but for the most part, that's where they are. But and they're garbage. They're awful for video games. They are. However, right, the companies that are employing these tactics have seen more success since they've started adding these horrible tactics than they have ever done, right? Yeah. So, and I know everyone says, oh, it's a few whales. It's not a few whales. It is not a few whales, these companies making 60% of their entire revenue out of loot boxes. It's because people are buying them.
Yes.
Simple as that. Simple as that. And then you can attribute that to them being predatory and all these things. But again, don't buy them. Simple as that. It's not a case of you have to. It's not a case of anything other than you want to. And then what really annoys me is when it's conflated with gambling mechanics, right? If you're an adult, right? If you're a kid, perhaps, right? Maybe there's something to be said for it's a bit predatory for kids because they can get excited and all this other stuff.
Well, and why do they have access to spending power then anyway? Exactly. That's weird to me.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, that's another question is how are they funding these loot box purchases? Are they stealing credit cards and then there needs to be something pushed on the companies?
Yeah, or it's like on their dad's Xbox that happens to have the credit card information on there and the kid can just purchase, they buy things.
So maybe there needs to be looked at what the barriers to purchasing these things may be, right? But if you're an adult who's got themselves in a financial hole, right? Because you spent 500 quid on a game because you wanted the blue pair of shoes. Then we go back, circle back to our last discussion of you need to grow the fuck up.
It's a disorder, Windy.
Yeah, well, this is it. It's not a disorder. Because you spent £500 on a pair of digital shoes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a disorder. It was a bad decision.
It's stupid disorder is what that is.
It's a bad decision.
Stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not the good thing to do, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. That's the issue. And I can understand the anger around them because it's like, oh, I want the blue pair of shoes. So then someone pays for them, right? Through these loot boxes, and they're unhappy that they had to spend so much, right?
Yeah.
But they knew they had to spend money to get these shoes and the chances of getting them. They don't know the odds, right? So maybe that's another problem. It's still, the shoes have no value. Like, this is when people say it's gambling. It's like, it's £1 to open a loot box for something that's worthless. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So
and then within the game context, there's still things in there that you're getting. You know, you're buying a randomized thing, but it's not like real gambling where you're like, you put $70 down and you lose it. You know?
Yeah.
Like that money now belongs to somebody else, and you don't have anything anymore. Like you're still purchasing a thing. You're purchasing a magic card pack. You're purchasing the little figurines inside of like the gumball dispenser things, and
exactly,
pop it open. Oh, I got a ninja. I already have 3 ninjas, but I really wanted the dragon. It's
exactly that.
It's that thing, and it's it's
exactly
what toy is going to be inside my Happy Meal at McDonald's? What decoder ring is going to be in my box of fucking fuck you cereal? You know, it's
well, this is it, isn't it? Right. So this is the issue. Is you've got a long list of adults screaming that their gumball machine didn't give them the toy they wanted, so make it illegal because it's predatory.
Yeah.
Like, no, just grow up and stop giving these people money for shit like this. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. It's like gambling. You go in and you put 500 quid on a table. The reason you put that 500 quid on the table is because there's a chance you're going to walk out with 10,000, right?
Yeah.
That's what gambling
is. A different arena.
Yeah. Walking into a shop and putting £500 down to buy a load of toys that you don't know what they are is well, not even toys, digital toys, pictures. Someone gives you a picture of a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And you're saying, like, there's no value there. It's just... And that's what I think. I think it's ridiculous.
And here's the thing, too, is I thought we were already kind of self-policing this issue.
Yeah.
Battlefront 2 got downvoted into oblivion on Reddit, and that's kind of part of what kicked this whole thing off.
Yeah.
You know, people that are presenting the case for this stuff, like in a state capacity, like, you know, before the suits that run the country are using Star Wars in their in their language. You know, it's like it's wild time. It's like it's goofy town.
It's crazy.
It's but we already, like, as a, you know, whatever you want to call it, the gaming community decided that it sucked and it's stupid, and sales suffered for it. And you're seeing that across the board with games like Fallout 76 and Anthem being underperforming. You know, they're all underperforming. So why do we have to fucking worry about this? The people that don't want to buy it aren't buying it.
Yeah. If these companies are going to ruin their games by putting in all these different monetization strategies, if they're either going to make more money or they're going to make less money, depending on if the market likes it.
Yeah.
They're making more money in most of these games, not all of them. Hence why they're doing it. Right? That's it.
Yeah. Well, here's the funny thing, too, is like these same people, like, we need laws against loot boxes. Some of them are the same ones that are like telling oh man, I lost my train of thought here.
Well, that's another thing as well, is while you regain your chain of thought, is even if they do legislate these out, right, which they shouldn't, as soon as you start legislating these things out, it's a slippery slope, right? When as soon as you've got a load of idiots screaming and shouting that their games aren't fair and we have to have laws about it, right? Where does that end? But they just replace it with something else. These people aren't stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, you know,
the same people that are saying, you know, fucking make these illegal are the same ones crying about people losing their jobs at these companies.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're hurting their bottom line and then you're complaining when they lay off people. It's just...
Well, it's like when you look at these companies, don't you? You know, and big AAA companies, and you look across like average wages throughout the company, and these people aren't underpaid. They're not badly paid, right? They might be underpaid in their opinion, but in the grand scheme of employment across the world, they're paid very, very well usually. Mm-hmm. All right, and you've got 10,000 people in your company all being paid very, very well, whether they agree or not. So I know probably some people think they have more. They should get more. That's fair, but that takes a lot of money to keep these companies going. You know. And they're making money. They make the more money they make, the more games they make, the more people they employ. As simple as that. You know.
Right.
If you start stripping out every sort of monetization from these games, and another reason a lot of people are putting these in their games is because, like we said earlier, a lot of people are getting these for free or not paying for them or pirating them, and these companies are sort of saying, "Well, okay, well, we need to find another way of making money."
Yeah, we need to make sure that you actually own the game. So here's you're going to have a username and a password, and we're going to have to cordon off some of the stuff in the game, and you're going to have to buy it and link it to your account, and then we know that you're actually, you know. It's again, like, I don't like any of this. Like, I don't like to play games that way. I don't like when I have to fucking have a password and a username for every goddamn video game that I play.
Annoying. It's annoying, yeah.
Yeah,
it's really irritating.
And a friends list, so everyone knows what the fuck I'm doing all the time. It's just
an empty friend list mocking me every day.
Can I just go into the woods and play Tetris?
But like, I think it's fair. I hate loot boxes, right? I hate them.
Yeah,
I don't like them in games, right? I don't hate the idea of opening a crate and getting a random prize. But I think gating that off behind a microtransaction is awful. I don't like that.
That can be a fun experience depending on what it is. And
well, every game has it. Yeah. It's just a treasure chest, isn't it? That's what they're basically doing. Is they're selling treasure chests.
But on the same token too, I have paid for Magic the Gathering card packs.
Well, there you go.
Like, I've done that, and I enjoyed doing it because I didn't know what was in there. You know, so I've engaged with this thing. In some context, you know, before.
But I'm guessing, Tobor, that you only spent the amount of money you wanted to spend because you're an adult. Yeah.
No, I had a disorder and I just lost the farm.
I lost my And again, I'm not laughing at people who have lost their farm, right? That's the point that needs to be clear.
You just laughed at me.
Well, you're an amusing character, Tobor.
No, I only paid what I could, and it was like, I've got $5 in my pocket, and I'm at the game store for to have fun, and pick up a pack or two of Magic cards, and cry when I realize that nothing is cool that's inside.
I just think it's crazy, right?
Yeah,
I think the world's gone mad. I do
a little bit. We've for issues like this to be a thing, you got to figure like. We're living it up. You know, when we've got so many video games and people making so many video games that there needs to be a disorder.
Yeah, when the world's got to a point where people are addicted to a video game and legally so, and they're writing legislation about treasure chests in video games, we're living in a pretty good world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
The demons no longer exist for us. That's why we're spending all of our time wasting time talking about this shit.
Yeah,
fighting. And it's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, most of our decisions are, do I watch the cat video on YouTube? Do I rewatch Cobra on Netflix? Or do do I make a podcast and bitch about it all?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we'll do that one. We'll do that one. But that's it, isn't it? Like, it's just someone's trying to find a fight because they've got nothing else to do. Mm-hmm. So they pick something they don't like because it's ruining their video games in their mind.
Yeah.
And try and turn it into something that needs to be legislated against by saying it's predatory to kids. Yeah, exactly. Just grow up, relax. It's video
chill,
games. Don't buy
have fun. Play Project Gorgon.
Exactly. If they're shit, people won't buy it. You know what I mean? But they do, and they buy lots of it. You know.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes me go kind of wacky. It's like,
it's crazy, isn't it?
So you're paying for a thing that you hate, and now now you want it outlawed.
Mad, isn't it? It's madness, yeah. Because all these companies, they're getting this endless stick, supposedly, like loads of it, but I don't think they are, because most people don't give a damn. They see the loot boxes and think, oh, that's cool, I'll get one of them. And then they get a little bit of extra money, and these companies are making more money than ever. You know, and they're saying, well, there's only a handful of people who are really this upset about them.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll tell you
Like I
what,
said,
though, right now, like none of my games are ever going to have that shit in them.
Yeah,
assuming that there will be games plural.
yeah.
This might be a disaster for me personally, but
that's
Savage won't
it,
at
though,
least.
isn't it?
So.
But it's the other side of it as well, isn't it? Is I suppose a lot of companies, whether people like to believe it or not, I think a lot of companies put these things in because it's the only way they can make money. You know? Maybe not, because I think the examples that are always banded out is like Blizzard with Overwatch and all these things, right? Companies with endless money making more endless money, right? That's not a good example. You know, the mobile market is entirely pay to win almost, right?
Yes.
Because it's the only way these companies could make any money.
They stop your game when you don't buy more Smurf berries.
Yeah.
Like you got to wait for 6 to 12
it.
hours in order to play more if you don't have the...
Yeah. And people complain about that, for the most part, about mobile gaming, but you don't see people going onto mobile and paying 20 quid for a game that often.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You don't see it. People don't go, oh, well, I'd much prefer to pay 20 quid for Fruit Ninja, or, you know what I mean, or £20 for Candy Crush, because they wouldn't buy it.
Well, then that one comes out and no one buys it, so...
Yeah, exactly. And then you have these companies that do have, you know, tens of millions of people who never played games before playing it because of this new monetization method. It's just like, if you strip that back out and stick mobile games at 10, 15, £20 each, then the industry's gone because people don't want to pay that.
Yeah.
They want to buy little crates.
Well, then they no longer have a disorder, so there's the upside.
That is an upside. We've cured it.
Yeah.
Cured. Yeah.
Price the disorder out of existence.
Priced away. Price is right, some would say. So that's loot boxes then, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been fascinating.
Yeah.
Loot boxes. It's one of those subjects, though, loot boxes, where you can't really settle on an answer, can you? Same with the gaming addiction, the gaming disorder thing. You can only have an opinion. There's no answer to it, is it?
There's my answer.
Well, there's your answer, yeah. And there's mine.
Yeah.
Who knows, right? It's just interesting to see. I just think the gaming disorder thing is a real negative for the industry. Real negative.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the thing that we produce will now make you sick.
Exactly.
Like,
what is
Christ,
that?
what the fuck?
Yeah. Imagine having that splashed across every video game. This game could cause childhood addiction.
Yeah, this could cause gaming disorder. Well, and what I want to know exactly is what exactly is the definition? Is it just people who play games? Like,
I think it's people who play games to the point where they don't do things they should be doing. I think like that. So it has a derogatory effect on their life because of the amount of time they are playing.
But it's how do you measure that and with who and, you know...
And I
can't wait for the medication that's going to come out for this.
What's that going to be?
I don't know.
You know, what's going to be the treatment? Turn it off? Try turning it off?
Yeah. Well, and how are you going to, you know, like at a clinic, how are you going to sort of wean somebody off of it?
I don't know.
You know? Like,
just give them a really shit game to play. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Yeah. Here's Barbie Horse's Adventure.
Yeah.
This will cure.
That's all you can play for 16 hours. Like when you used to give a kid cigarettes back in the 50s. You're going to smoke 100 of these, and you're going to play 16 hours of Barbie's Horse Ride Adventure, and you'll like it. That's what they'll do. But it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a mad world. And it's what's going to be the end of this? So every game store is just the games are going to be in a box, but you can't have flashy pictures on the box because that interests kids. So it now has to be a grey box with a health warning on it. Like is that going to make this much better? Is it?
And attacks.
Yeah, attack. Well, that's probably the main thing.
I
for
bet
it,
that's where it's coming. That's why.
That's what's coming.
They want to tax it because it's the biggest industry in the world right now.
So all these advocates for gaming disorder can give yourself a pat on the back.
I can't wait for the you know, like the tobacco stuff, how they have the truth videos.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
I can't wait for the video game version of those things.
Yeah, yeah. And they'll have flashbacks to the old adverts of how exciting games were, and then it'll be like, little did they know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There'll be videos like that.
Yeah, Mom,
there'll be
Dad,
pictures.
Did you know? Like there'll
be pictures of some 600-stone dude in hospital with a mask on going, I just couldn't stop playing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
if you knew this would happen to me, Mom and Dad, would you let me play Super Mario Brothers?
It's just ridiculous.
Have you had the talk with your child about gaming?
Exactly. And I think that's what it comes down to, really. They should have just said, nah, this ain't a disorder. Just get people to take responsibility for themselves.
Fucking. But again, it's, probably they just want to tax it. So they rake in the dough.
Well, that's it, yeah. There's a few people making some noise about it. So they thought, oh, God, here's a good idea. We can now slap a health tax on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like cigarettes and alcohol, we can stick a 20% tax on this.
Oh, yeah.
God. Oh, God.
Let's see you monetize it.
Well, we'll see what
now.
happens over here with it. This country, the UK, has been quite quiet about it, to be honest. With this loot boxes and all these things to do with gaming, they're kind of... I suppose it's because we've got this Brexit shit going on.
Yeah.
That they don't really talk about anything else. So hopefully it will miss us. Who knows? I imagine America will go all in on it, wouldn't they?
I hope not. Right now, it's just, being proposed, I guess, by some senators or somebody. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on this one, Tobor, I think. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Sort it out.
You and me.
We'll fix it. Yeah. We'll fix it.
Stand back.
Right. Anyway, so that's all the stuff we were going to talk about. However, next week, Tobor.
Yeah.
We're going to be covering a game, aren't we? We're going to be covering a new indie game next week.
Is this one even out yet? Or is it... It's out, right? Sorry?
It's out.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's out. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to check. Got Fission Superstar X. So that's what we'll be covering next week.
Looks good,
so we'll be playing it. Yeah, it does look really good. So we'll be playing that in the week and then chatting about it next week. So
yeah, if we don't die from our disorder in the meantime.
Well, just been going to have to give myself a disorder this week. And yeah, so that's it. So we'll cover Fission Superstar and we'll see you next week then, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll do it again. Should we do one of these again, Tobor?
I think so.
Good.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay. Well, that's been FLAMECAST, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Windybeard. This individual here has been the Tobor. And we'll catch you all next week. Much love. Give him a wave, Tobor. Give him a wave. Give him a wave. Goodbye. Bye, everyone. Bye.
We're all sick.
Got disorder.